let me tell you a story about a boy named Ayu. Here was a kid who could literally hold entire worlds in the palm of his hands, but he'd completely forgotten how to actually see his own. This is a story about rediscovering that incredible, vibrant world that's right in front of all of us, all the time. And this slide? Wow. It really just lays it all out, doesn't it? In his digital life, Ayu was a master of the universe. He was a builder, a warrior, a champion. But in the real world, he was a total stranger. He had no idea what the sky actually looked like that day, couldn't feel the wind on his skin. And silence? Well, silence was the enemy. His whole life had this rhythm to it. Tap, swipe, scroll. A constant, never-ending loop of feedback and reward. And all that action, all that movement, it was really just a very well-practiced way of running away from one single feeling he couldn't stand. So let's start Ayu's journey here in this first phase. You can just picture him completely bathed in that restless artificial blue light from his screens. This is a world where everything is fast, everything is loud, and everything is demanding your attention right now. And this was the big bad guy he was always fighting. Boredom. But for Ayu, it wasn't just having nothing to do. No, it was this heavy, antsy feeling, a horrible, empty void that had to be filled immediately with a tap or a swipe or a scroll. It was something to be defeated, not something to be felt. And then it happens. The thing that changes everything. The power goes out. The screens go dark. No Wi-Fi. No battery. Nothing. And Ayu is suddenly, totally and completely alone with the one thing he spent his entire life running from: silence. That sudden, almost deafening silence, well, that's the turning point. This is where we shift away from that cold blue light and move into the second phase of his journey. We're talking about the earthy, hopeful, green shoots of curiosity. So Ayu wanders outside, probably super annoyed by how slow and quiet everything is. And that's when he meets this fascinating, mysterious gardener. Just a man kneeling by the soil, collecting what he calls forgotten things. And just look at what he collects. It's not stamps or coins or anything like that. He collects attention, patience, and wonder. You can't hold these things in your hand, can you? They're qualities of the mind, and they happen to be the very first things that get lost in a world of constant digital noise. So the gardener gives Ayu this task, and it sounds almost ridiculously simple, kind of boring even. Plant one seed, water it, and then just sit with it for 5 minutes. But you have to understand, for a kid like Ayu, who is wired for instant gratification, this was a massive, almost impossible mountain to climb. And you can just imagine him, right? For days, he's fidgeting, he's counting the seconds. 5 minutes feels like an hour, but he keeps doing it. And very, very slowly, something begins to shift. He starts noticing little things he'd never, ever have seen before, like a line of ants marching on a mission, or the way the dry soil just greedily drinks up the water. He even starts to hear the melody in a bird's song. And the gardener's words here, this is a huge moment. Notice what he says. You are beginning to see the world that was always there. The world hadn't changed a bit. The ants were always there, the birds were always singing. It was Ayu's attention that was finally waking up to it all. This brings us to phase 3. And you can just feel the whole vibe soften, can't you? That frantic, restless energy is gone. It's replaced by a warm, calm focus. This is the soft light of stillness, where Ayu's chaotic inner world finally starts to match the quiet, steady patience of the garden. So as his little seed finally starts to sprout, Ayu complains that it's just so slow. And the gardener offers this incredible piece of wisdom. This is really the heart of the whole lesson, isn't it? The real growth, the stuff that actually matters, it can't be rushed. You can't just tap a button to unlock it. You have to live it. So the gardener gives him new challenges. But these aren't about getting a high score or leveling up. They're all mindfulness exercises designed to make his attention stronger. They're about learning how to really look and how to really listen. And then we get the big aha moment. One day, Ayu realizes he's just been sitting there quietly, and he hasn't even thought about how much time has passed. His whole idea of boredom has completely flipped on its head. It's not an empty, awful void to escape from anymore. Now it's a space that's full of observations, full of questions, and full of a kind of quiet joy. Ayu's transformation really peaks in this final phase, connection. You can just feel it, right? The light itself seems to get warmer, more golden. It's the perfect way to show his newfound sense of peace and belonging with the world around him. He's looking at the garden that he's helped create, and it just hits him. He sees how everything, the soil, the sun, the bugs, the plants, it's all one big interconnected system. Nothing is in a rush, but everything is growing. And for the very first time in his life, he feels like he's actually a part of it all. Aayu asks the gardener if he'll be there tomorrow, and he gets this mysterious, amazing answer. See, the gardener wasn't just a person. He was the act of paying attention. He was mindfulness itself. The practice is the teacher. And so the next day, of course, the gardener is gone. Aayu is alone with the garden. But he's not lost. He's not panicked. He just quietly picks up a seed and continues the practice. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. He's not trying to escape the moment anymore. He is fully living inside of it. And this brings the whole lesson of Ayu's journey right back to us, doesn't it? To the world that's waiting for us, right outside our own screens. In the end, what Aayu figured out was actually pretty simple. The world was never boring, not for a second. It was just his attention that had fallen asleep. And so his story leaves us with a question to ponder. In our own lives, which are so full of distractions, what small, wonderful, amazing details is your attention sleeping on right now?